Perspective. Perspective.
Perspective.
What up? This is your host, Monte Swank, and you are now tuned into Perspective Junkies. Welcome back. On last week's episode, we talked about why we even choose to give our perspectives on these topics that we do. We also talked about Birkin bags and who deserves them, and man wigs. Great episode. Check that out, please. But this week, we talked about President-elect Joe Biden. Congrats to him. We also discussed, should you be thanking your partner for being faithful, or is that something that they should just be doing without the appreciation? Interesting subject. We also discussed how women can tell if it's just about the sex. We also calling out them dirty Macs once again. So, you know the drill. Stay tuned, stay locked. Show love on all of our platforms if you can. But most importantly, enjoy the show. And we is live in the intellection section. This is your host, Monte Swank, the man of mental health.
You are joined by C Swank, aka Cody. A lot of you may notice I went from Codyocrities to Cody. The reason being, I felt like my audience was getting more ignorant. So
I was trying to get excited about that name.
Yeah, as a response to that, I decided you guys aren't ready for Codyocrities. But I'm still living as Codyocrities. I just decided to get the name back to Cody until you guys are more prepared for that time.
Let me cut him off. It's KB knows most, and I would never fold on y'all, so you guys could call me Kenziocrities.
Yeah, you already. Well, people are not noticing or commenting on it. Like, Kenzie's already folded because he don't know shit. I don't know why he took the name KB.
No,
that's crazy.
Hear ye. We have Kenziocrities.
I like that. It sounds better than Cody.
Roll off the tongue,
Cody.
Anyway, let's get into it. Recently, we just had a new president win his election. Mr. Joe Biden. Put some respect on that man's name. Y'all put some respect on that man's name.
That's an inside joke that y'all gonna catch when Cody's making $1 million.
Like, to be honest, I never fought with the Democrats.
All right. We'll get into it. We're gonna have everybody's response to it. We can start off with Kenzie. Go ahead.
First off, I want to say this was my first year voting ever.
How old are you?
I'm 23. The first legal time I could have voted was his first.
He has let you down.
No, guys, I was still in college, and I wasn't registered to vote at the school I was at, and I couldn't come home to vote. So it is what it is, and y'all still blew it without me. So I guess y'all needed me this time, and I fixed the issue. But very proud of myself. I'm more proud that the numbers of people that voted in our age bracket went crazy. You know, we're not even going to talk about, Biden and Kamala Harris. I'm just proud of us and seeing us come together and really mature and grow up and get out there and vote. But I'm glad I'm undefeated in voting. This voting shit easy to me. And if y'all want a candidate in office, just let me know.
You kind of like that?
That's how I'm coming.
I'm gonna take that emotion and say, like, this was like the first time that us as a generation and as a group
came together.
We had the numbers to like really affect something, and that just felt good alone because it felt like it was more than just a Twitter decision. Like we decided on Twitter who we thought was the right candidate before, and now it was just like, all right, we're gonna put it into action, and that's always great to see. But from this moment, the funniest laugh I'd have had was seeing that picture from Django. Said, y'all don't care nothing about that boy Joe Biden. Y'all here for that colored girl. That was the funniest. Yeah, so that was my laugh at that. I'm watching Joe Biden. I got my eye on him because that was a creep little compiled video of him breathing in girls' hair.
No, the funniest tweet I see, one of my friends tweeted, Joe Biden 78. I was like, yeah.
That's every time. Like we be on commercials and people be talking about him. I'm like, yeah, that nigga's old.
It's like, did we really just vote Kamala for president? Really?
And that was my other point too. Like, yeah, we did. But my other point was like, okay. It was a hard speech to remember for a regular person. I know he's supposed to be on a different level because he's the president, but even off just like regular old age, that's a lot to remember for a nigga his age. Like we gotta give him that on that. So I'm just watching out to see how he do. Shouts out to Kamala.
Senile.
Cody.
All right, I guess I have to come with the adult opinion. Taking the tie off, getting controversial.
Oh, bro.
Although I can admit this, I like the peace that people on the Democratic side, definitely people of color, I like the peace that people feel with this victory. I like the joy in just seeing people, they smile and they brimming with energy. I'm one for that. What I disagree with, what I'm not co-signing with, is I don't believe in polarizing the country by kind of making it we know y'all was voting, we know y'all, don't come back on this side. I'm like, that's not the route I would go about it. For example, I don't know if you guys are up on culture. YG, he dropped a couple of T-shirts.
Come on,
hold on, Joe. YG dropped some T-shirts with some explicit images of Trump, and he's like, "Yeah, we rocking it. Fuck Donald Trump." My thing is, I'm like, "Oh, this is an explicit image that I'm uncomfortable rocking." I think a lot of people would. But it's just like we gotta turn the other eye. Like, yeah, anything Donald Trump, fuck. I'm like, nah. I got a code of honor. There's certain things that I'm like, that's out of pocket. That's a little wild. And then, to me, I think of it kind of shows sometimes. Like, I look at it as an immature view or oversimplification of the population of the people you're around. Some people would interpret that as half of the country is racist, which I think is simple. It's silly. It's kind of like, no, it's unrealistic. What you should come to the conclusion is that half of the country has views about several issues that are different than one of the issues that I find most important or most critical when picking my candidate. So if you're trying to unite or build a less polarized, less tension-filled country, then you would want to be like, hey, y'all took y'all L, you know what I'm saying? But you should at least have a very well thought out, articulate understanding of what the other side's argument it is to even debunk it or to go against it. But to me, to be like, I was listening to radio, I heard Al Sharpton's like, don't forget, and I've heard this uttered many times, like, don't forget that half the country still voted for this man, so it's gonna be I'm like, don't make it a left versus right, when I believe it should be more of an individual. Everybody should become more politically aware, so that eventually you should understand that everybody has views that are both liberal and conservative. Therefore, you have views that agree with both the Republican and Democratic and Independent and Libertarian parties. To believe that you are just this side, and I hate the other side is to me, it's not politically mature. It's not intellectual. It's a very that's the type of opinion I used to came up when I was like in middle school. We're like, we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans. Like, you don't really think it all through. So although I'm good, I'm glad that Biden's in there and that people are feeling relieved. I am like, I'm in disgust of the reaction that some people are having. Like, no, because I'm like, it seems hypocritical to me to say that one president polarized and had tension so high, and then at this moment we just about to go like it's just the way you joke, the way you win. I'm like, and I believe in actually talking shit on the basketball court. Politics is one area I'm like, because it engages so many people, the whole adult population of the country. You should really be more like, they just won. It's not like we're emotionally tied, like, oh man, my team won. It shouldn't be like a Super Bowl in that regards, in my opinion, unless you believe that he's going to make a change that I don't think he's even capable of making within a short period of time. I've heard people say on Twitter, like, no one believes that he's going to change everything for black people. I'm like, I think some people do that. I believe that. I think that you're a college-educated person making a statement over the majority. I believe a lot of people have lofty expectations. Because when you have lofty expectations, you have big exhales, like, woo! If you had small expectation of what's about to happen, you would kind of be like, okay, good, we're making progress. But if you really think something huge is about to happen, that's when you end up having such hyperbolic statements and emotion towards this election. So I'm hesitant. But yeah, go ahead.
So my response to that is that was one thing I like super appreciated about Joe Biden's speech that he gave last night, the night of his election winning.
Historical victory.
Yes. So he was kind of just, putting it out there that like, hey, I know y'all voted for the other side, but look, now let's come together as a country. And that's like the big difference maker that it made for a lot of people, that Joe Biden was willing to preach the unity rather than Donald Trump using the division as his like marketing mechanism. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I feel like is one of the biggest difference makers, and that's why I really appreciated what Joe Biden had to bring. And so I feel like we, as those who made the decision to go for him, we need to get behind that as well and try to like really hear people out so that we can get back to work as a country. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing on that.
I like that, Vontae, because Cody tried to kill our hype, but it's whatever.
I'm still trying to kill your hype. My prediction would be this: you interpret that, and I understand if it is indeed this way, then I would be happy for it. You interpret that as that although I won, I will make an effort to govern for, I've heard him say, I govern for America, not the Democratic Party. My thing is this.
Word.
I never saw it in the actual campaign. I saw you pandering to certain groups that are so wildly left that in order to govern for the country, you literally have to turn your back on some stuff you said you was going to do. Like, you got to completely look the other way. Just like when there was the police violence situation and people were kind of upset about his response. Even Ken's even commented on that. What I'm saying is that
don't speak on me.
I would expect it's going to have to be a lot of that, because in order to be for the country, you have to be moderate. And if he won the whole campaign with a moderate, campaign, then I would say, yeah, you probably could keep doing what you're doing. If you win it with a kind of I agree with the most leftist side, their standards or expectations of what it is to be good is going to be something that is likely unattainable, which causes this disgruntledness that I think plagues the country. Like, then you have tension on your own side, like, hey, you lied to us, and then there's other people that's going to be like, because you brag so much, it's like, hey, if this man ain't getting no results, then, now we feel y'all silly, and you picked something up. I just feel as though it's not, I'm critical, I'm skeptical of the belief that he's going to go into.
Yeah, I feel like they're talking shit.
And hold on, my thing is,
he said, hey, we had one person comment, Miles, he said, hey, if he can do one thing like delete student loan, that's the biggest win in the past 12 years. I will give you this. If he can delete student loan, I have shit to say. Ain't shit to say.
Cody gonna be in bed like, alright,
I'm clapping that up. You gotta clap it up. However, I would say no.
But what you just said,
but that's it.
What you said, also, you gotta be realistic on how these things actually work. Mm-hmm. In the primaries, they're going super left in order to get the primary of Democrats. So you have to get those who are passionate about Democratic shit. When you go into the presidential election, you have to come a little bit more to the center to get those who may be on the left. And I feel like that move kind of came also with Kamala Harris and her being a cop and all that. So that was a little things to reach to the left. And then when you get the presidency, then you got to do it for everybody. So it goes in waves on how much center they're going to be. And they have to start extremely left in order to win those primaries, and then kind of slowly start to fade into the center stuff that we kind of need to operate as a country.
What I'm saying is that what if your centralized argument is in the left? Meaning, as you go away from the extremes of the left, you are literally going away from what they want. Now, if it's like a moderate area where I'm like, that's not where we at right now. I feel as though there's certain, the requests, what I get, listen, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely biased because of my timeline, because of I'm around a whole bunch of young African Americans.
Cody, I also think you're scared of that lockdown.
Huh?
You're scared of that lockdown.
Definitely scared. Oh, let's go to that. I'm not for it. I know a lot of people where I'm like, I don't agree with that. Look, that's already kind of, I'm like, I don't want that.
Look, I got a confession that really changed my views on coronavirus. I had it a couple months ago, and I had to really quarantine. Like, first episode, that's why I wasn't on it. I was at home sick. Mm-hmm. They was acting lame, but just experiencing the coronavirus, I'm like, yeah, for the younger people, go ahead and catch that. it out the way.
I get what you said. It's just, and it's not that you're trying to sound insensitive. Or anything, you know what I'm saying? I understand people are inclined to think wrong or, you know what I'm saying, evil or good, when in reality, you must look at a long term. I don't believe it is healthy for anybody. I'm not saying of any age.
Yeah, don't go out your way to go
prohibit yourself from
lick a park bench or nothing like that. You know,
to prohibit yourself from social activity. Now, people are going to. Every time I say this, people say, "Well, you know, as long as you're socially distancing your mask." I feel like it's just they use that as a slippery slope to kind of like justify what they on. So I've heard people that'll talk about you at a party, but they on like a boat with like 15 people on the boat. The boat's not a yacht, so I know
Shout out, Joe.
Y'all right in each other's face, just like playing patty cake and shit. I'm like, all right, you know, some people will go on brunch. I guess brunch, they think of that like, nah, we are far away from each other. I'm like, I guess. I'm like, somebody all up in your food, people doing all that. I'm like, it's just either if you believe that we should be inside the house for an indefinite time because you don't have a definite idea of when the cure comes, then you would agree with that. For me, I'm like, it's the best for individuals, it's best for small businesses, it's best for society at large if you're out and then you just let people who decide to stay in decide to make that move. However, you know what I'm saying, people disagree. Yeah. I don't agree with people just badgering people because they go, I'm like, all right, we're gonna see. I've seen so many people just on their opinion.
I will bash on the partiers. I will bash that, and I was a part of that for a slight second. Yes, but it was slight, bro. Just because you ain't pull up, don't do that. But it was a slight second. But I will agree with that. Like, you know, I seen folk on Twitter just breaking down like, I got corona. I'm like, yeah, bro, I seen you. Hey, I seen you twerking. You do got corona. I knew you was gonna get it. We all do. Like,
let me interject between what Ken's saying. I agree that if you get it, you should accept responsibility.
Yeah, accept it. Don't even.
What I'm saying is that
don't be sad.
Unlike a lot of people, I don't believe that parties are something that is just frivolous. I'm like, I think every human should go to a party probably once. If you're not going to once a year, it's the equivalent of not dating. I think it's literally something you should. It's like exercise.
I know that's not your true number. What's the real number that you really feel?
For parties?
Yeah.
You probably should go to 4 a year.
Okay.
One every 3 months at least. Yeah. If you're not doing that, you are literally disengaging from a social activity.
You're lame.
Just like some people will be like, "Oh, don't date." I'm like, if you are a young adult, single, and you have not got a kiss in over 12 months, it's time to start putting in the applications. It's time to start working. I don't want to hear, "Oh, just wait it out." I'm like, nah. Things are going kind of slow. It's time to get a little more active. Start putting in some texts or something. I don't believe in, like, some people just believe that partying, like, oh yeah, you can totally withstand. I'm like, and that's why you have a bad social life. You believe that works, and that's why your friends don't keep calling you up. I'm like, it's just not good to go completely ghost from society for a year or more.
So wait. Before we get down that tangent, what do y'all think Joe Biden would do or is going to do about the corona?
I am pretty scared of Kamala Harris. So I could see some extremes happening, but I think, you know, stage one, back when the streets was almost empty, I wouldn't be shocked if he attempted to get it back to that, how Georgia was at least, but have it across the world. I know some states are very serious. Like, Vontae, you've been to Cali.
Yeah.
Cali, they're still like day one Georgia. Georgia, it's not even, Corona really don't even exist out here. It's a joke out here.
Yeah, it's funny the image that Georgia is kind of creating for itself. It's like we partying through whatever and for whatever.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious though. I kind of like.
It's very funny.
If my city was known for something, I'm kind of cool with it being that.
Why? Let me tell you why. Because I believe.
Hey, actually,
let me explain to you why.
Captain Controversy, we didn't want to know why.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. You need to party because it gives reasoning to get through the struggles of work. I don't believe that anybody should be bad for partying if that man work. You work. It's a boring job. You have to go get your money. You are rewarded by going and spending some time with your homegirls. Going to spend some time with your home. I don't believe that you should be bad. Now, if someone was to tell you, let's give the perfect situation for you guys' response of being angry at people for going out feeling like it's highly responsible. If you were to say, stay in, it literally, the virus balls itself up and it leaves your body through the bathroom, like you're gonna piss it out. If that's the case, why would anybody? But if you're saying no, it doesn't go away. Just stay in. Hold on. In our history of science, that has not been our way of ever solving any problem. That is responding to the emotions of everybody. And then to respond to the question about what would Joe Biden do about it, I believe it'll be a shutdown of
small businesses.
Less than a month or of a month or less, if that is. I don't believe it's going to be a major shutdown. Why? Because it would be to his advantage to improve the economy. To improve the economy, you can't improve it while keeping it shut. So I believe that he's going to be pushed to kind of do things that are more moderate. More moderate might even mean giving the states the right to choose. In which case they will choose like they did with voting. Most of us going to be open. A couple of people going to be like, nah, like Cali might. But I'm like, I don't believe that the big shutdown is coming, which I think would be one of the first things people are going to be like, oh, you lied about. Like, I don't think there's no shutdown coming. I don't see it, but it could occur.
I think it just would be more of a overall systematic way of doing things. Like, I feel like Trump just kind of was like rolling with the punches, and he had to do that on some part, but I feel like I'm hoping to see that Joe Biden comes out with them stimmies a little quicker. So that's one thing.
You think you gonna get one, big baller?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was like, all right, that stimmy gonna come by Christmas. So I'm looking out for that.
I get the stimmy around Christmas.
But I'm saying they know how America is gonna do. They gonna spend some money for Christmas, and if you give them a stimmy, they gonna spend it, and that's gonna keep that economy rolling. So y'all better do it.
But I love what Georgia's doing. Outside the extreme party and like clubs are still regular. Things are still
people who don't even think it's real.
Yeah, it's still people are still out here living like it doesn't exist. It definitely exists. It affects everybody differently. But I'm in favor of the small gap. Like everything Georgia has going on right now, I love it. Except for this.
I just want y'all to know that as we speak, me and this nigga Kenzie are planning to go hoop tonight. He's talking about saying, we going to hoop today.
That's way different.
That's what I'm saying.
That's way different.
It's way different. You couldn't buy anybody in
time out.
You running up and down the court.
That's way different. That's way different than being in one apartment, 60 niggas.
I would say one-on-one defense could arguably be it can be arguably more physical contact and breathing than a part. Yeah,
first off, I got two things to say. One, Cody, you can't come anymore. Two, I trust my immune system. Niggas is
that's
healthy.
What you really should say.
I trust my immune system.
We on Protect the Junkies. Niggas need to say what they saying, bro. Say what you
so
feel,
do you got the antibodies too, or how does that work?
I probably got the antibodies.
He don't care. He said he don't care.
Don't care. When
he going to work, he going out. The girls we are.
I am not. First off,
that little cough shit going. I'm good.
First off, I'm not going out. When I had it, I legit was locked in my room. This is how they so fake. They came over when I had it. I'm like, hey, me and Joe probably got this shit. Niggas is like,
I knew about that
shit. Hey, niggas in there. Hey, look, niggas was getting mad at us.
That shit wasn't real until afterwards. It wasn't, you didn't say you had really got it. You was like,
I got my result.
You was like, bro, I don't know what it is.
No, I had it.
He's like, you worried about that?
Niggas in there lit.
I'm like, bro, you talking about what? He said what?
And this had me dying. Let me tell you, bro. This is when I know I was taking it too serious. Like, I knew I had it at this point. Niggas playing the bowling night. I said, I'm waiting on my results to get back. I don't know yet. Well, for my second test, like, I'm still kind of like, I kind of feel weird right now. I don't know yet. Dudes in the group chat, niggas don't pull up for shit. Niggas don't never pull up.
I'm like, this nigga getting worried about it.
Niggas was like, judging. They was on me and Joe head. Like, they went from angry, like, y'all niggas got this shit. Like we gave them an STD. Like, y'all niggas got corona, bro. Y'all so lame.
I still tell that as like a survival story. I'm like, yeah, I done came face to face with corona.
I'm straight on that shit. Hey, but go to the next one. We're gonna go past.
Oh man, this is one. This is a big jump. Of course, when you got to start off with, we don't hate women or bash women. This isn't a bash women.
That's how you know we're gonna have a good
bash a woman show. But
hate on the woman.
This Twitter moment made me so mad because it was such a pick me question.
Okay.
On the niggas. I remember Cody arguing with somebody about this. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked a question, a popular question: who's the greatest athlete of all time? Athlete. We're not just talking just football, not talking just basketball, not just talking baseball. Mm-hmm. You see the main sports I named, and somebody named a tennis player. I was just playing.
I forget football.
Football.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's dig into it.
Is Serena Williams the greatest athlete of all time? Because that was the popular answer.
The question was, who is the greatest athlete of all time? And people said Serena Williams.
Yeah, that was
thinking clearly, I'm like, are we kidding? I'm like, we jokingly playing, or we like dead ass?
Man.
2 reasons. No, maybe 3. 1, tennis is never in the question for the greatest athlete of all time. You can win 40 tennis matches. You're not better than Mike. It's just not a sport that, first of all, it's not a team sport. Most individual sports don't even get that chance. Second of all, the amount of space you move, just the back and forth. I'm like, it's just not the same as an up and down a court, a soccer field, running around the track, or a football field. It's just, it doesn't have the same demands to me. So, that's one.
And she still is a super athlete.
She is a super athlete.
And if the question was the person that dominates their sport, who did that the greatest,
right?
Then she's in the conversation.
Right.
But greatest athlete, just saying greatest athlete, Serena Williams. Can she dunk?
Right. When people say greatest athlete, it has to be a combination of speed, strength, jumping ability, stuff like that.
Size.
For this reason, I wouldn't give even a candidate that you might say, I wouldn't say Tom Brady is the greatest athlete of all time. If you want to say winningest, best quarterback, maybe even a great football player, greatest athlete has to be someone who is probably fast, jumps, physically. Like, you have to be all of that. Now let's go another thing. In order to praise women or give them the respect in sports that people feel they have not been got, people are willing to rob dudes who are clearly greater athletes of the respect that they have earned, that they deserve. No. How can she be the greatest athlete of all time if she does not beat men in tennis? I'll let you guys think about it.
Because she don't beat men in tennis.
We would know if she could beat men in tennis. We compete with them.
So you say pro men.
Pro men.
Yeah. She'll bust my ass for sure. I'm gonna let y'all know that. She'll bust my ass.
Why would you even think she compete against me and you?
Yeah.
Roger Federer.
But you gotta say that. You gotta say that.
All the tennis greats, put them up against. That's almost like, when would we ever put any of the greatest basketball player women as the greatest athlete of all time? Never, because you can't beat Kobe. You can't beat Dame. You can't beat Jordan.
Tennis is more of a sport that
they could do it. Yeah. What I'm saying is that I don't think she would not. I don't think that she would refuse the chance to silence the haters if it was like that. And I think there's a lot of male tennis players that are salivating, hoping that you get cocky like that.
And I actually feel like they should be able to do that.
It should be
a co-ed tournament.
Men tennis.
But hold on, we should look that up because there might be a co-ed tournament because I don't watch tennis. I wouldn't know.
And people want to give it the greatest athlete. How you
hold on.
Bojack.
This is where I feel like the question could be getting viewed in different ways.
Okay.
It could be greatest athlete of all time, as in their athlete in their sport. And
that's what I said.
They're the greatest in their arena in what they do.
That need to be the question then.
I am the most dominant in my sport. Yes. She is the most dominant in her sport, in her category.
She's the GOAT. She the GOAT women's tennis player.
So, no, I'm saying, okay, outside of that, if we're saying someone who dominated their sport the best out of everybody, of all the sports, you know what I'm saying? So, like, seeing how Mike dominated basketball, is that on a greater level than how many times Serena Williams has won? Is the question.
For me, of course, obviously.
Mike dominated baseball. Even though he wasn't good, he went and played baseball. I mean, dominated basketball and went and played baseball.
But here's where the question gets tricky, because it's like, is there a number of tennis matches that you wouldn't even know to say that she would have to get in order for her to surpass 5 rings in basketball?
Right. That's why.
She probably up
there. I thought about that, Devontae. If you're wondering, is there a number? Could she ever beat it? The answer is no. Tennis can never be the greatest of all. I guess I gotta say tennis can never be the great. It is football, basketball, baseball,
soccer.
maybe soccer, track.
You can't say maybe soccer because that's an international sport.
Soccer is even in it, but I'm like tennis, golf, NASCAR, cheerleading, what's it called? Gymnastics, bowling.
I wouldn't say gymnastics. It's gymnastics and track. It's literally
you
just.
You can win gymnastics 10 years in a row.
But that's literally. That's literally just showing.
I'm sorry. What could they do?
It's funny.
10. Okay.
But
if you're doing the flipping thing and you land on the
but
ball,
when you hear
10 years in a row.
when you hear athlete, what do you think of?
I think of strength, speed, agility. Oh, they're athletic.
Okay.
But you would.
That's why they could be considered.
Well, what I'm telling you is when you hear greatest athlete of all time, you could respect that a gymnast winning it.
A gymnast?
Yeah.
A male gymnast, I could.
You could respect him winning greatest athlete of all time. He'd have to
if
win
he's
the
out
Olympics.
There doing athletics
He'd have to win the Olympics 20 years. He'd have to win. There's no way.
Olympics happen every 4 years.
Out of pocket.
So can we say she's the greatest woman athlete?
Yeah. And I would probably want to give some WNBA.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what shorty that just got her 4th ring too?
I would really want to give Taurasi. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
it's some basketball, soccer, and it's some basketball and soccer players I want to give.
I'm saying we're not gonna say she's the greatest,
but she's the great. I can respect that. I'm not. I don't respect people that say, "Oh, greater than men." No,
You're better. You're better.
No way. I don't understand that metric. To me.
But you literally just said what an athlete is.
Yeah.
And that's everything a gymnast is. Everything a track star
then
is.
we need to make the rules to where they can't win it. That's how much I'm trying to tell you. Of the obviously,
because you almost like it would have to be a track star. It would have to be a track star to win it.
I almost want to say has to be a team sport.
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt would be a legitimate
Tyson
contender.
Gay, like
those would be legitimate contenders of greatest athletes.
But that's big. That's literally a sport.
But I want to say on the
record.
You think Serena's the greatest athlete of all time?
No, I don't.
Because everybody like to dig that hole.
Okay, I was about to say I don't.
I think she's the greatest woman athlete, and I think she's in the top 5 or at least for sure top 10 of greatest overall athletes. That's what I'm gonna say.
No comment. It's hard, man.
I'm only speaking on the idea of if we're talking about athlete in their sport. If we're talking about overall like athletic ability, like skills, I'm not gonna say the same.
Nah, athletic ability, I might, I think she's capable. I feel like she could touch rim.
She's probably one of the most athletic women, like overall.
Ever.
She's built.
That's why I would have to go with she might be the greatest woman athlete of all time. But obviously, it's gonna be
so is LeBron above her?
If a woman won the 800 meters Olympic track competition twice, I'm damn near wondering. That's how the Olympics is different, bro.
Hell no. She done set too many records, bro. Like,
but Serena could go win shot put before she come and go win like Wimbledon. You feel me? She can.
And she probably the most paid. She probably the most paid too, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
She could go get. You could get better in track before somebody go learn how to play tennis,
say this,
bro.
because Kenzie said this in the beginning.
Track and field.
He said this in the beginning of the show, but surprisingly he's going, I don't believe that people, I don't believe you can be elite in as many sports as many people frequently think. I think it's actually people that are that serious, that focused in their area, that it's hard to make the transfer like people think. Just like I respectfully said I would lose to Serena in a tennis match. Like you can't just assume you win that. To assume that she would go from tennis and be a shot put Olympic champion,
no, I said that she could do that before a track star goes and dominates tennis.
I don't.
She could climb up the ranks of track before somebody go climb up the ranks of
You
tennis.
think that a track athlete
you could go
have a harder time playing tennis than a tennis player would be
like
at being
going
a
shot put? Yes.
Shot put is strength. That's just it's hard as hell just to be that strong.
And tennis takes skill. That's why
tennis
one would
is
be
fast.
harder.
I'm going to tennis. Let's go to the tennis. I would go for the tennis player. I think the tennis player would probably do better in tennis. I mean, the track player would do better in tennis than the tennis player would do at the shot put.
Hell no.
At the shot put, you don't just get strong. Serena's strong, but there's some women that are stronger. Like you don't.
I'm saying they gonna be like so strong.
You
they don't know what to do with a racket.
You could go pump iron and get right before.
So in a year, you feel like you have a chance to get close to the Olympic shot put for women, but you don't think that a professional track woman can get a year of training and get into, let's just say, the tournament of the whatever
she
the
would succeed further than what Serena could. I mean, no, wait.
Serena would succeed more than she would.
Yeah,
I don't agree. But all right, Let's get to the next one.
This is funny. I want to jump to that last one, but we're gonna stay in order. Do people deserve extra credit for remaining faithful, or is that applauding a fish for swimming?
Cody's going to bat for this one.
I want you to start off.
Yeah, start it off.
Yacrides.
We're gonna be your Twitter.
That's your nickname, Yacrides.
Yacrides on the scene.
Yeah.
Let me answer.
Yeah, got it.
Do people deserve extra credit for remaining faithful, or is that applauding a fish for swimming? The answer is yes. You deserve extra credit for remaining faithful, just as you deserve extra credit for doing anything that is expected of you consistently. Let me give you an example. I would say that for the most part, it is anybody's duty to be affectionate within a relationship. If somebody is consistently affectionate, they're like, hey, I love you, I appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. You should give them extra credit for that. You don't applaud them for applaud a fish for swimming, even though it is expected of them to do such. If someone is, they buy you food, they're very kind and with gifts, you say thank you, even though while they're your spouse, it's expected that they do some nice things for you. To me, being faithful, because of the failure rate of it, is so high. To do it even at just to maintain it for a decent amount of time is worthy of people being like, clap it up, clap it up. And the reason I say that is that people who don't clap it up, to me, you are at risk of high rates of infidelity, of being cheated on, or you're going to have relationship failures. If you're a man and you think every girl you kick it with is holding it down, you are silly, you're naive.
Stupid.
When you find a girl who is holding it down, you should be like, hey man, I really appreciate you, looking how you ain't kicking it.
So you saying you should get applauded?
100% you should applaud the hell out of them.
Okay.
So how do you do that?
Literally, what they were talking about me, that they on Twitter, what they're laughing about me is you're saying, so you gonna be like, thank you for not cheating on me? Literally,
yeah.
Thank you for not cheating on me.
You're being solid. Thank you for being solid.
I didn't say you had to get no money, none of that. They're like, oh, well, I'll just be a good girlfriend. No. Don't just be a good girlfriend. Literally, tell that man, look him in the eye and say, baby, thank you for not cheating on me. Like, the literal thank you is what like people going to do. And they're going to like, I appreciate that because they see that you're acknowledging their effort and you are giving them the reward that they are looking for, which is simply acknowledgement and affection. All you have to do is say thank you. I don't believe, and that's wrong. I believe that is actually very important. Like,
yeah, I've seen a lot of women argue with you, but they be the first one to mention, like, I've been staying down for you, all the niggas I could have had.
Right.
You wanted to get applauded
I feel
for
like
it.
They almost be scared to say that, knowing that it could be he not.
Right. That's what it is.
You let me say thank you and you out here doing that.
That's what it is, a fear of it. What I'm trying to tell, what I think something what women don't sometimes get is that cheating is an act in that it can happen at a moment, at any moment.
Thanks.
So in the relationship, you should be saying thank you until you find out it is untrue. Yeah. And then at that moment you act. You should behave as though the person is acting straight until you find out they're not.
Innocent until proven guilty.
I know that I am any girl I pick with right now. She's young. She's she clearly just has a lot of energy. She has friends that's going out. She is at her highest
full of options.
Yeah, she is at her highest peak of options and the chance to cheat if she felt like it. Every girl who I would interest myself, I'm not even saying like the girl I'm with, I'm saying if anybody at this age who has a high chance of cheating, that doesn't mean I go in a relationship like, I ain't gonna say nothing. Who knows what you be doing behind my back.
Turn off.
What a feminine, soft man. I'm just so scared that you can't even just show love to your girl. Like, stop being scared over past stuff and just say, I appreciate that, yo. And if
you say don't be scared of what?
Stop being scared of past L's reoccurring. They can occur, but you can't be so fearful.
You gotta dive in head first.
Yeah, if you're going to be in a relationship, you do all that stuff that y'all doing is what you do for talking buddies. Yeah. Dudes who don't got no pictures on the gram, they ain't cuff. Soon as they cuff, you supposed to be like, hey, appreciate you, my guy. Like, appreciate you for showing love and coming home. Like, you gotta say thank you for the small things, or you're not. That's how you water your relationship, in my opinion.
Applaud your significant other for staying down and being solid. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is the message to every individual, just to never be too proud or too comfortable to appreciate what you may consider the norm. Mm-hmm. Because everybody has a different norm, so somebody is
Future made
your setting normal, and so you kind of got to applaud them a little.
Future made a song about that, being too comfortable.
That's one of your favorite songs, huh?
And don't get too comfortable.
Bitches don't get too comfortable.
That's real, man.
So yeah, that's my little bit on it. I agree mostly with what you're saying for sure because, hey, it's a second by second decision. Like you could be like, I'm good, and then the next very second, nah.
Yeah, let y'all. Obviously, all three of us agree with that statement. I don't think it's dumb. Applaud a fish for swimming for sure. Applaud people for doing stuff that is obviously going the other way. I just want to emphasize. Bro, if you got a girl you ain't supposed to have, you better applaud her for staying down because she should. You ugly. No, I'm just playing. But
what was Buddy saying on Breakfast Club? Reason.
Dang. That's the video I've been in my head. It's been playing in my head on mute though. I don't know what he was saying. He
was saying like it's harder for men not to cheat than it is for women. Do y'all agree with that?
No.
No. Explain.
I think it's harder for men to even cheat at all. I think it's very easy for women to cheat because they have the most options. Women are getting tried.
Okay, it's
let me do access. What it more so should be a question: is it harder for men to abstain?
To stay faithful? Is it harder for a man to stay faithful?
Yes, in their own mental, not as far as their options, I guess you could say.
But I would answer probably similar as Kenzie.
What was his reasoning? I gotta remember his reasoning, but I don't agree with that at all.
He was just saying like it's hard for a nigga to not cheat. It's way harder than it is for a female.
See, he said that from the perspective of a famous nigga with money. It's way different.
Let me say what Kenzie's saying. All right, let me give you this opinion. I believe for 80% of women, all the way until you get to the 8s, 9s, and 10s, that lower 80% of women, it's harder for them to stay faithful than men. Because men in the 80% and lower, they don't get as much options. They don't get as much love. They don't get as many opportunities to engage in unfaithful behavior. They gotta really do some cheatery stuff. However,
dudes are thirsty.
In the fly category of 8, 9, and 10, these are men who are a little bit more handsomer, a little more tall, a little more built, a little more money, a little more cars, a little more fame, clout, etc. For those men to be faithful is actually harder because I believe, unlike their counterparts of fine women with money and stuff like that, every girl, when you are a man of a little bit of clout and swag and whatever it is likely looking to engage in a relationship with you. Whereas, as a fine woman, you still have a gazillion men trying to hit.
They are fine with you staying in your relationship too.
And 7 dudes that want to cuff. That's different. Imagine being a man, and you got 20 girls that might want to kick it with you at every time. But 19 out of 20 of them would cuff.
Yeah, they want to marry you.
They'll take the ring from you. That's a different type of energy, a different type of step you really have to be. So I would say it's harder for a woman in the majority. But in the fly category, which is what I believe most people think of when they think of dating, they don't really think of the total population. They think of the woman they want and the men that they consider, you know what I'm saying? If you're a man, you think of the finest woman and you think of the flyest dudes. You're not really thinking about old Joe Blow on the side who can't get no number or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
In reality, like a male 10 is getting the attention of a female 7.
Exactly.
Like, it's like that's still equivalent. They don't even understand it. It might not even be quality. Like dudes really is just gonna wake up like, damn.
Right.
She looking straight.
Dudes is always trying to get you know what I'm saying? Like so
you got a man, you can't have no friends. Alright.
That always makes me think about how is the mentality of thicker women. Like, don't y'all believe that thicker women get approached with more men who want to hit?
Mm-hmm.
From all ages, though. That's what make it tougher.
Right.
And it's like, how do you... that's where I really kind of give it to women because you kind of really have to decipher through a lot of niggas. Because it's like, when you got a booty, I mean, what nigga would not? You know what I'm saying? So it's like... Ooh.
You really got to think, just like, when you really crunch these numbers, I did a study the other last night. Women are... No, I thought I was going to say something serious. I feel like women are just getting approached, especially with social media. Decent women, 7s and up, are getting like at least 10 DMs a week. I'm not going to say a day, but they're getting at least 10 DMs a week.
I agree.
2 of them dudes really might just be solid dudes. And then the other 8 is just like horny, don't care.
But to me, I give them respect for being able to decipher it, but I also give them because I feel like it's high failure rates and it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it is still goofiness. with preparation. For example, with us, could you imagine if since the age of 13 you had a job in a car? What would you be at age 21?
A father.
Because you would be a father, but you would probably be wise. If you wasn't a father, you would be wise and more prepared. You got to keep in mind with a lot of women, like it ain't like
they mature faster.
They don't become they don't get bodies at age 19. These girls be interacting or becoming like they have engagements with the opposite sex since they're like 13, 14. They have this attention. So by the time they turn 21, they have decided how they're gonna respond to it. What is the what are the markers they're looking for the men they're gonna respond to, and you have to praise or criticize them based on their standards of who they choose to accept. You know what I'm saying? For us, I think of a handsome man who is overly willing to commit is damn near like a girl with a big butt. Every girl would kick it with you and just if you was really to invite girls like, yo, not only do I like you, but I'm ready to commit.
I think I love you.
You could
after night.
You could just be a highly coveted man. You know what I'm saying? Every girl gonna kick, but it's you understand the value of not everybody can get the relationship. And it's the same with them. They have to understand not every dude is gonna text me the next night. Like you know what I'm saying? So you gotta pick on that.
They almost kind of like learn to be more picky, but not pick the right ones.
They still don't
picky in the wrong ways, and I can't respect that.
They're still not picky. And all those just always dive in. This dives into our last and final question of the episode. Like I said, average girls are averaging they're getting 10 DMs a week from every type of dude. This next question is: do girls know they're ugly? And my answer, I'll kick this off. No, they do not know they're ugly. A lot of girls are still confused. A lot of girls still can't tell when it's 100% sexual attraction, and that's all. They don't. A lot of girls can't decipher when it's only that.
Well, Kizzy, let me stop you right there. I'm not even going to get your opinion on do girls think they're ugly. I want you to talk to our female listeners. How do you know when it's just sex that is being desired from the male? How can you just differentiate a real contender from a jokester?
That's hard.
How the fuck you figure out if he a dirty man?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That dives into the other episode. You can't. They can't. Only I feel like only male can really see through it, or older women that already had the game ran on them, they could probably see through it.
So if you giving your daughter the speech, you gonna have to fuck a couple of them to figure it out. That's
what it's feeling. This is some of mine. I'll give you some just to start off, and then you'll think about it. For me, a telltale sign for a girl who's an 8 and above is strong commitment without meeting me. If you're a woman and a man promises you high amounts of cash, high amounts of guaranteed relationship love without even meeting you, you should assume he's a dirty macker. Because he's playing on your...
He's dirty macking, but that's what funds the OnlyFans and strip
industry. I know you can accept it.
Girl, that's what...
But when a man does not know your character, he's not met you, he ain't kicked it with you, but he coming in with the DMs of super romantic... Yeah. That's either a young man, 16, 17, this is my first time in love type stuff, or a dirty macker, or a dude who is just so insecure that he's really saying these things genuinely. He has no experience with women to know that you could be a dog, and he just girls who really date. I feel like they know, damn, you gonna give me all that? You don't even know I'm a wild woman.
I feel like that applies for everybody under the 8'5". Everybody above the 8'5". These niggas really be like, yo, you look that good. I don't care what.
Yeah, that's all I say, Cody. They really are serious.
No. But think about this. I don't know about your experience with girls above that. My experience is that it becomes less weighted to them.
You see, they
don't give a damn about, you know what I'm saying? They get so many, you're beautiful, I will cover you.
The advice I'm going to give my daughter, I'm going to look her dead in her face, because it's not hard to spot. I'm do not ignore these signs. There's girls they know, I think he got a girlfriend. He probably do.
Okay, that's a good one.
Don't ignore it, because girls always make the wrong choice while knowing they're making the wrong choice, just praying I hope he's not cheating on me, but he's always at her house. They're just studying if it's signs like that, it be crazy signs that women ignore where I just can't even feel bad. I'm
the problem with what you just said is women intuition guesses more than what's really going on sometimes as well. So
sometimes
telling them that, believe it, that means everything they think is going to
Nah, bro, you know what I mean.
My daddy told me, I know you be on.
Because it's some things going on. You just looking like you watching it like you know what's going on. Like everybody in the room feel it. You feel it too. You just don't want to. You know what's going on.
I'm saying, but there have also been times when you were single, I'm sure. When I was single, I also felt like because of how I was doing things in my operation in my camp. They would be like, "Oh, you got a girlfriend, huh? You be going ghost at night, and you must got a girlfriend." And I'm like, "No, I just got hoes." Like, I didn't say that.
It's funny.
I don't have a girlfriend,
but
and I didn't. But you would say that, and they would be like, "Oh, believe it. I don't care." My daddy said, "I know it, and I know it."
Look, I would still get it. I'm like, yeah, say this. Sorry, don't. Because there's no way if a dude is willing, like in the Dirty Mac episode, if a dude is willing to go that extra mile to be a chameleon, to blend into every environment, be everything that you love, I'm like, he gonna show some signs. And you just gotta read them signs and just have fair judgment, baby girl. Because if a nigga is willing to be the man of your dreams for 1 month,
he deserves to win that.
Yeah, you like.
But what I believe is It starts off, what misleads women is the belief in a perfect man. The perfect man, if you believe in this idealized of like a dude on shining armor just rescuing you from the game, I'm like, what you should be looking for is any signs of honesty that doesn't need to be honest. But I accept it as like, this is a woman being herself and being real. Like if a girl comes to me and she says, this is how I feel, blase, whether I want it or not, I'm like, I respect women who have disagreements with me or differences in their style and stuff like that as we're growing. If you come off the jump and I'm like, everything I say, like, oh, you just like, you know what I'm saying? You just like documentaries all of a sudden? You're like, that's crazy. Like, you like documentaries and the sports.
You like individuality.
But you ain't play. I'm like, I like to me, for a woman, like, I don't understand how they're misled by dudes who just not even being purely themselves. If they're purely themselves, like they appear to truly embody the guy they are. I'm like, if you don't have a job but he always talking about hard work, you know what I'm saying? He giving you a little something. Dude always talk about, religion, and you don't really see him frequenting the church all the time.
You got a cross.
You know he can't. You like, like at least let the stories somewhat look like, oh, he is pursuing.
Check him sometimes.
Yeah, you got to see that and you test it. You
oh man, I told this story on my IG story about Jordan had a homeboy walking around campus like, I got practice tonight. I'm on the team. I start. I'm like, damn, y'all ain't come to no games and try to see if that was true, because this nigga sucked in basketball. So that's what made it funny.
Ultimately,
do your research.
Yeah, be a skeptic.
Be a little skeptical.
I can appreciate that.
Be a little skeptical.
Skeptical girls definitely.
Because it's definitely conversations where I'd be like, okay, I see why you think that.
Right.
You might be right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can respect you, and they don't understand this. It is intelligent and almost attractive to a man for you to be able to spot or question my legitimacy as a faithful guy. Yeah. We kicking it and you like you, I'm like, I curse. I first off is we gonna laugh it off, but I can respect. Boom, you've already passed a competency test. Right. You are not so goofy that you did not,
or not so full of yourself.
Yeah, you're not. Some girls are so full of themselves they don't see the wolf in the room. They're like, I am so much of gold. Right. They can't tell there's a wolf chilling in the room. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this man don't care about you being gold. He's a wolf. Like, but to have that skepticism for a moment is allowing me to be like, okay, you're competent. But I like the confidence and the peace within yourself and the lack of insecurity that you're able to give a certain amount of time where you are not enforcing rules. That's what girls understand. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between, and dudes have the same thing. For example, I may kick with a girl, meet the girl. In a short period of time, I question her whereabouts when she's not with me. Girls have this question about men. The only difference is that I am not going to check you about that. I'm not going to press you about that until we get a couple more dates. I start working my way in. Then it's time. Yeah. For most women, they struggle to find the period between it's time to apply that pressure and I'm looking at idiot. You're looking at idiot.
Let's put it on men too, because it's a very controlling man.
It's definitely, and it's a men too. Like,
and that's a sign. If from the jump, where you at? What you doing? Why you ain't over here?
Dudes like
the
that
first week.
They dirty Mac. When you don't cuff and you dirty macking, like you trying to pursue or control where she at, you can't question. You can't trust that. And a lot of girls go for, I'm like, because they like the security of a man that cares.
And another disclaimer about the dirty macking. You know, we telling you about it, but just know we're not gonna tell you if we watching it happen. We gonna watch it happen first, and then when you find out, we gonna laugh at you. I'm not gonna tell you
the truth, because to tell you about it is dirty.
That's dirty macking right there.
Girls on there like, oh, you would just let me go with this man.
I'm like, yo,
of course.
I've had that statement said to me before. You knew he was like that. Why you let me do that?
Because guess what,
dumb
baby girl, I liked you, and I would have done better than him. However, if you're going to choose him,
it is what it is. Die with it. I'm like, ain't no snitching.
You gotta take that L now.
Ain't no snitch.
That's like if you and your girl are hanging out, you like, yo, this man right here is fun. Like, I want to kick it with him. I go for the girl. You know the girl, like she farts a lot. Like you probably want to know she fart a lot, but you ain't gonna say that. Be like, yeah, that's who he chose. Like, go ahead and do it. You wouldn't just go and be like,
I would never.
She be farting a lot. Like you can't. That's dirty.
I would never snitch.
I also wanna for the record. All the women that I have dealt with, you're not hoes. I just said that. For a second too, but I definitely believe in this quote that Wale said. And he said, I got a thing for queen that know when to leave. That's so attractive out of a woman when she really knows, like, all right.
It ain't. Why you leaving me? I don't feel that way. Why is you leaving? Let me leave.
I mean, that's also going to say, like, somebody who could recognize some dirty macking and recognize some funny shit.
Yeah.
And they got to time it, though. You have to do it enough that, like, a nigga miss you. You see what Wale said? I got a thing for queen to leave. I know girls, like, you probably straight. You did not even hold this out long enough for me to be like changing life decisions for you. It's been It's been 3 weeks. I'm like, yeah, you are a good woman, but I don't even think you're gonna find a better man. The girl, like, I can judge your future by the time window you gave me. You gave me 2 weeks to make a decision on our future.
Girls have.
Think about that. What you would do? What would her future be?
Your future is guaranteed to be a fly nigga that lies or a lame nigga that's telling the truth. Regardless, I'm happy.
Where's it? I'm talking about after you. I'm about to say, we in between. What you mean?
If a girl forces you after 10 days, she's like, so what are we? You like, I know you're not kicking with no fly dudes. Because no fly guys cuffing. I know you don't have the power to, you didn't crack any jokes with me. There was no meal. There was no gift exchange. You don't know my middle name. There's no time for this.
They want the vibe to be that strong that there's special circumstances because
I hated those people in high school that had a new girlfriend every week. I'm like, damn, bro.
That's the dudes that cuff the second week. Hell no. I had a regular girlfriend. All right, hold on. We can get in that. Because they always crack that joke. I had 4 girlfriends in high school.
1 a year.
Monte had 1.
I did.
Kinsey, you had none. These niggas is below average. Like, what did they try to say? Like, I was just like, turning a year. Like, I wasn't. Wow.
I had about 3 in middle school.
I felt like it was just like.
And I came into.
I love you. Then it was like another year. Like, nah, I love you.
No, but I'm in high school.
I love you.
But the thing is,
I don't know. He had like 4 girlfriends, but he had some real good kickers. Like real.
I dead ass.
He had good girlfriends.
The thing is, I dead ass loved it. When you young, you dead ass. It wasn't like I was being no mad like on play on y'all. Like, no, I really loved it. I was crying. Like, what is going on?
I know, but Cody was just like, I'm like, you is this willing to give your heart again?
I feel like every girl I like, I really like, thought I loved her too. But I'm like, why are you going to the PC versus East game? What are you doing? Like, hold on.
Yeah, girls in high school was doing a little, like they was already test driving the whole like.
Yeah, some wild shit. I'm like, bro, we don't even drive. I play tonight. Why did you go watch Douglas County play Alexander? We're not even from there.
Right. And I had 2 girlfriends in high school for the fact.
Who was the second one?
Jilly.
Who was the first?
Jilly was the first, I think.
Oh, who was the second?
Did they run?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty average. What did you say to me?
Okay. Make sure I at these people.
That's
Let them know we name dropping.
That's fair. Yeah, at these. Y'all go ahead and tag them.
She gonna be like, that wasn't even real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't be talking to us. Like.
Girls are funny, bro. That's one person I hate. Well, a problem I have is when I get to college and I see somebody go to their college and become a way 10 times cooler person, and I'm like, nah, nigga. In middle school, you got cut from the basketball team. You dork. You forever a dork. I got a problem with that.
Why you got a problem with that?
Cause I'm saying that's my problem. Like I can't.
Oh, wait. Kenzie, you didn't have a girlfriend in high school?
Nope.
What?
4 years.
I held out the wolf for that.
And then Kenzie, but you can tell by the way Kenzie talking, something happened that really shaked that thing. If y'all wonder what he acting like, how he acted,
bro, I don't be acting no way. Just know.
So, I mean, I had a wild ass. Like, what was she? 10th through 11th grade. She was wild. She planted the seeds, or I was like, yeah, she's getting. Girls are getting wild.
Remember, we said when we lost our virginities. Just know the girls lost them before we did. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. Yeah, I was 17. Them girls was like
senior year.
That's what you think. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a horrible person to talk to when it comes to that too. I'm gonna make you feel like you getting cheated on, bro. Cause you probably is.
Kenzie, stop saying that. Kenzie's always pushing infidelity, bro.
Kenzie would be the worst girlfriend, like if he was a girl. Like,
yeah, I'm like,
have her, girl, he is cheating. What you think?
I'll be like, girl, he a Kaplan.
Could you imagine you get married and you see beside your husband is Kenzie's the best man?
Don't.
Yeah, you know as a girl you go like,
hey. Niggas is good. Hey.
Kenzie, like, what's up?
Look, bro. Do not get married before 25, or I will really be that. I will be at your wedding clown like, bro. What y'all on? Y'all not even white and you married already? Weirdo.
Hey, they do that quick.
They do get it in quick.
But I respect it. They established this.
So you need to go ahead and wrap this episode up, fellas.
Wrap it up, then.
Yeah, man. To sum it up, man. Just make sure y'all are nice to everybody who voted. Keep going to parties.
And girls, understand, if a guy just wants sexual relations with you, it's a high possibility you are ugly.
That is not the
That's not how we. I don't know how he pulled that from. It could be a plethora of reasons, ladies.
You can be ugly.
Yeah, but y'all. You
can have 30 fans and be ugly. Just understand that.
30 fans.
Like girls could have 10 dudes at their neck,
right,
and 100% be ugly. They can't get that.
Man. Let them ugly folks think they're cute.
Yeah, nah, don't come around me with that.
I was saying, how do you expect somebody to live like ugly? And it's like niggas could do it because it's like, I'm gonna get the bag though, you know. Whatever.
That's what everybody say. I'm like
girls are living off of their.
But it should really make you adjust the game plan. Like, let me get kind, let me get
be nicer, spend some more money.
Everybody want to be bad bitch personality. Like, yeah, that's why you're ruining your life.
Okay, we didn't say that though. We just called them ugly and we didn't give them no advice on how to not lose in life.
I'm just saying, be humble.
Go from ugly to average.
This question came up because ugly girls don't be humble. They think that because 10 dudes want to have sex with them that they're like bad. I'm like, nah. Not exactly ugly.
It's a lot of ugly niggas too.
It is a lot of ugly niggas. But ugly niggas be knowing that. That's why they go get a check.
Ugly nigga with a good hairline, he already like, I'm not ugly.
Why? Because girls is looking for separate issues. They're not just looking for pretty boys. They're looking for
money,
strength, clout, the ability to fight.
But look, y'all made us dive right back into it. Make sure you guys follow us on, what's the new Twitter name? P Junkies. Is it one?
Yeah. No, just P Junkies.
Oh, P Junkies podcast. Follow P Junk. I follow that Twitter. What's the IG, sir?
The Instagram is Perspective Junkies Podcast. Just everything spelled the regular way.
I understand.
Perspective Junkies Podcast.
And this is, I'm sorry, I gotta also go to this situation. Just follow the page. Don't look for a follow back. Just follow the page.
We got on that note.
Just support.
P Junk out.
Junkies.